The mark on her shoulder should have glowed silver, every wolf's birthright, every fated bond. But when the moon shone on Elara Thorne for the first time, her skin burned red. A forbidden mark. A claim from a wolf she had never met. A bond she had never agreed to. And when her fated mate, Alpha Kale of the Nightcrest pack, laid eyes on her, his wolf recoiled. "You're already marked by another. You're tainted. I reject you." That should have been the end. But the moon never makes mistakes, and destiny never accepts rejection quietly. Tonight, Kale will learn the truth. The girl he cast away is the only one who can save his pack. And the only one his wolf will ever bow to. Before we go deeper into this dangerous, intoxicating world of mate bonds, betrayal, and destiny, hit subscribe, drop a comment, and let me know if you think Alpha Kale deserves redemption or punishment. Now, let the story begin. The crimson moon rose once every century, an omen of endings and beginnings. Wolves whispered that under its light, truth sharpened like a blade and destiny revealed its cruelest curves. Elara Thorne felt both the beauty and the blade of it. She stood at the edge of the Moonfire Lake, the water glowing like molten rubies beneath the strange sky. Her breath clouded in the cold air, her heart hammering with a strange dread she couldn't name. Tonight should have been her awakening, the night her dormant wolf stirred, her soul mark ignited, and her fated path revealed. But instead, pain tore through her spine like lightning. Her knees buckled. Her pulse spiked. Her skin seared. And then, a symbol blazed across her shoulder in a violent red hue, burning the very air around her. Not silver. Not gold. Not anything the elders recognized. "Elara, your mark, what is that?" the healer whispered, horrified. She didn't know. She didn't understand. But she could feel it. Someone had claimed her. Someone she had never touched. Never smelled. Never even seen. The whispers spread like wildfire. Red is a curse. She's been tainted. She'll bring chaos to any pack she joins. But destiny wasn't done with her cruelty. Moments later, the Alpha of Nightcrest arrived, the very male the moon was supposed to bind her to. Alpha Kale Varin. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Raven black hair. Eyes like storm-chased ice. Their gazes met. Her wolf reached for him instinctively, like breath reaching for life. But his wolf recoiled. Snarled. Denied. His voice was cold enough to freeze the lake solid. "I don't claim what another has touched. I, Alpha Kale, reject you as my mate." Elara didn't scream. She didn't cry. But she felt something inside her crack, quietly, deeply, like a prophecy beginning to shatter. And Kale walked away believing the moon had made a mistake. He had no idea. The red mark wasn't a curse. It was a warning. A key. A power only one wolf in 1,000 lifetimes could hold. And soon, the Alpha who rejected her would be the one on his knees. The night after her rejection tasted like ash and silence. Elara sat alone in the abandoned watchtower overlooking Moonfire Lake, legs drawn to her chest, chin resting against trembling knees. The crimson moon had faded, replaced by a pale dawn that offered no comfort, no warmth, no answers. She pressed her palm over her shoulder, expecting pain, expecting heat, but the red mark felt cool now. Almost dormant. As if waiting for something. Or someone. Staring at it won't make it turn silver, a voice said behind her. Elara stiffened. Only one person approached quietly enough to reach her without sound. Lynx. Her closest friend. Her only friend. A slim, quick-footed Omega with honeygold eyes and an ease to him Elara had never been able to emulate. He dropped into a crouch beside her, studying her expression, not the mark. "Have you slept at all?" "No." She didn't elaborate. She didn't need to. Sleep required peace. She had none. Lynx nudged her shoulder with his. You should come home. The elders are worked up. Some of the pack thinks the mark means you're claimed. Tainted, she corrected softly. That's the word they used. His jaw tightened. They're idiots. You didn't do anything wrong. But that wasn't the point. In a world built on scent, bond, pack loyalty, and mate destiny, Ilara was now an anomaly. A threat. A glitch in the moon's perfect system. Lynx exhaled, his breath frosting the air. Look. Kale. Don't. Her voice broke before she could stop it. Lynx winced. Sorry. I just meant, he had no right to reject you like that. Without even asking what happened. Without trying to understand. He didn't want to understand, she whispered. His wolf refused me. And that hurt the most. Wolves could be cruel, but they were never wrong. If his wolf rejected her, that meant something was fundamentally wrong with her. She swallowed. It's fine. I'm fine. You're lying. Of course she was. Before she could respond, a sudden gust of wind swept through the tower, carrying a scent she didn't recognize. Sharp. Ancient. Metallic. Like cold fire under moonlit stone. Her wolf, weak and barely awakened, stirred violently. Lynx grabbed her wrist. Ilara, someone's here. They turned toward the staircase just as footsteps echoed upward, steady, unhurried, powerful. Then he appeared. Not Kale. Not anyone from Nightcrest. A stranger. Tall, taller than Kale, even. Shoulders broad enough to block the morning light. Eyes a smoldering red gold, strange and hypnotic. His aura pressed against the tower walls, thick and unyielding, making the very air rebel around him. Ilara's breath froze. Her wolf. It didn't reach forward. It didn't shy away. It bowed. The stranger's gaze locked on her shoulder, the red mark pulsing faintly beneath her shirt. His voice rumbled like distant thunder. I've finally found you. Lynx stepped between them instantly. Back off. She doesn't know you. That's because her memory is sealed. The stranger lifted his hand. The mark on her shoulder blazed in response. Ilara gasped, stumbling back as heat surged through her veins. Lynx snarled. What are you doing to her? The stranger ignored him. His attention never wavered. You are not tainted, he said softly. You are claimed. By me. The world tilted. Ilara grabbed the stone wall for balance. What do you mean claimed? I don't know you. I've never met you. You have. He stepped closer, aura thickening. Though you were much younger, and nearly dying. Her pulse hammered. That's impossible. You bear my mark. His eyes glowed brighter. I marked you to save your life. Lynx swore. Ilara, run. But she couldn't. Because the stranger's next words shattered everything she thought she knew. Your true wolf didn't awaken because Kale is not your mate. I am. And now that the moon has risen, I've come to claim what is mine. Ilara's heart slammed against her ribs. No, her voice trembled. I don't belong to anyone. Something flickered in his expression, surprise, then hunger, then something dangerously close to admiration. You will, he murmured. When your memories return. When your wolf rises. When the bond completes. Lynx shoved her behind him. Leave. Now. The stranger tilted his head, amused. You think you can protect her from me? I can try. You will die. Ilara grabbed Lynx's arm. Stop. Please. The stranger took another step. Ilara, you are in danger here. Kale's rejection has weakened the bond between us. Others will sense it. They will come for you. Why? She whispered. Because a wolf with a crimson mark. His gaze softened, almost regretful. Is destined to end or save the alpha line. The ground beneath them trembled. Wind howled. Her wolf howled back. Lynx pulled her toward the stairway. We're leaving, now. But the stranger didn't move to block them. Instead, his voice followed her like a whisper written in fire. When Kale comes crawling back, remember this. He rejected destiny. I will not. And the moment Ilara fled the tower, heart racing. Kale Varin, the alpha who rejected her, was standing at the forest's edge. Watching. Eyes wide. Expression shaken. As if he had just realized the mistake that would cost him everything. Kale had never felt his wolf snarl like this. Not even in battle. Not even when he faced rogues who wanted his throne. Not even when he watched a pack brother fall. But the moment he saw Ilara run from the tower, her scent tangled with another male's aura, something primal and vicious detonated inside him. Mine. The word ripped through his bloodstream like a wildfire. His wolf, usually disciplined, cold, perfectly controlled, lashed against his ribs as if fighting to break free. Mine. Kale dug his fingers into the bark of a pine tree, splintering it as he forced air into his lungs. Calm, he ordered himself. It didn't work. He saw the stranger's silhouette emerging from the watchtower, red gold eyes gleaming like molten suns. A terrifying, ancient aura rolled off him, an alpha power Kale had never sensed before. He stepped forward without thinking. The stranger spoke first. So, you're the one who rejected her. Kale stiffened. She carries another wolf's mark. I acted according to pack law. The stranger descended the final stair with a predatory grace. And tell me, Nightcrest Alpha. Does your wolf agree with that decision? A muscle ticked in Kale's jaw. Because no. No, his wolf hadn't agreed. His wolf had recoiled at the sight of the red mark, yes. But now that the scent had matured, now that he stood this close, Kale could smell it. Beneath the stranger's power. Beneath the cold morning wind. Beneath fear and confusion and panic. Ilara's scent called to him. Warm. Soft. Moon-touched. Wild. His wolf slammed against his chest. Mine. Kale crushed the instinct down. Who are you? A very old promise, the stranger replied. And the true bearer of the crimson mark. Kale's eyes narrowed. That shouldn't be possible. The crimson mark hasn't appeared in a century, the stranger finished. Yes. And she carries it now. Because I gave it to her. Kale's pulse stuttered. What are you to her? He demanded. The stranger smirked, slow and unforgiving. Everything you refuse to be. Kale lunged. He didn't shift, he couldn't risk destabilizing the boundary so close to the tower, but he slammed the stranger against a tree trunk hard enough to crack bark. Stay away from her, Kale growled. The stranger didn't flinch. Didn't snarl. Didn't blink. He simply looked down at Kale's hand gripping his collar and said, Or what? You'll reject her again. Kale's grip faltered. A blade of shame cut through him, sharp, unsuspected. He stepped back, chest tight, wolf pacing against the walls of his mind. The stranger straightened calmly. She will remember me soon. When she does, your claim, your imagined claim, will mean nothing. She's not your mate, Kale said, forcing the words out. No, the stranger agreed. She is more. She is the only wolf who can awaken my bond, stabilize my power, and survive what's coming. Kale froze. What's coming? The stranger's eyes flickered with something dark and prophetic. Nightfall. Kale's wolf shivered violently. He masked it with a snarl. You're speaking in riddles. You expect me to understand? The stranger swept past him. In time, you will. But know this, Alpha Kale, if you harm her again, the moon will not punish you. He paused. I will. And with that, he vanished into the pines like smoke. Kale stood alone, the winter wind carving into him. His wolf growled. Follow her. Claim her. Fix it. Kale closed his eyes. He had rejected her publicly. He had humiliated her. He had seen the red mark and judged her before she even spoke. But now that he knew the mark was living, active, responding. Now that he knew another male's aura was entwined with it. His wolf was coming undone. Kale cursed under his breath and took off in the direction Elara had run. She and Lynx pushed through the forest, breath fogging the cold air. Who was that? Lynx hissed. I don't know, she gasped. But you felt it, Lynx said. Not a question. A truth. She swallowed. Yes. She had felt it. Not attraction. Not destiny. Not anything familiar. It felt like a memory she couldn't reach, buried under years of silence. I need to get away, Elara whispered. Just for a moment. Just to breathe. Lynx nodded and guided her toward an old hunting path. They didn't make it far. A figure dropped from the ridge, landing silently in front of them. Elara's breath caught. Kale. His eyes locked on hers, storming with something she had never seen from him. Not anger. Not disgust. Not dismissal. But regret. Raw and dangerous. And hungry. Elara, he said, voice strained. We need to talk. Lynx bristled. She doesn't owe you anything. Kale didn't look away from her. Please. 5 minutes. Elara's throat tightened. She hated that a part of her still reacted to him, still felt the pull of what should have been. Fine, she whispered. Lynx reluctantly stepped back into the trees. Kale exhaled, tension easing from his shoulders as if he'd been holding his breath for years. I shouldn't have rejected you. The confession hung in the air like thunder. Elara blinked. What? I made a mistake, Kale said. A grave one. I didn't know what the red mark meant, no one does. I acted too fast. You humiliated me, she whispered, voice shaking. Kale closed his eyes for a moment. I know. And I'll spend as long as it takes to undo it. The wind stirred between them. The forest went silent. Elara felt her heart pull painfully in her chest, but she also felt something else. A faint warmth beneath the red mark. A tug. A memory trying to rise. Kale stepped forward slowly. Elara. I can't feel my wolf around you anymore. He's restless. He's angry. He broke off, jaw clenching. Jealous. Her breath caught. Of who? Kale's eyes darkened. The male whose scent clings to you. Elara staggered back as heat flooded her mark. Kale's wolf surged. You're mine. I don't care who touched you first. I will not lose you. Elara's pulse pounded. Kale, stop. He reached for her hand. And that was when the world shattered. A howl tore through the forest, deep, ancient, furious. The air rippled. The trees bowed. The stranger's voice echoed like a blade through Kale's mind. Touch her again. And I will tear your soul from your body. Kale stiffened. Elara froze. Behind them. The stranger stepped from the shadows, eyes burning like twin suns. Lynx shouted from somewhere in the trees, "Elara, run!" Kale growled, shifting halfway, claws ripping through his skin. The stranger's aura slammed into him like a storm, forcing him down on one knee. Elara stumbled between them. "Stop! Please, stop!" Both males halted at her voice. But neither backed down. Because in that moment, the moonlight revealed a terrifying truth. Two powerful wolves were fighting over her. And she wasn't sure either of them would survive it. Elara had never seen power clash like this. Not in training. Not in the old war stories whispered by elders. Not even in her darkest nightmares. The air between Kale and the stranger sizzled, two auras colliding like storms trying to erase each other from existence. Wind spiraled. Frost crawled across the forest floor. The trees bent as if bowing to something older than time. And all of it, because of her. "Stop," she choked out, stepping forward. Both males froze, but neither broke eye contact with the other. Kale's voice was a snarl. "What are you?" The stranger didn't blink. "The one who will decide whether you live or die." Kale surged upward, half shifted, half man, fangs lengthening as he forced the stranger's aura off him through sheer rage. "You threaten me on my own territory." "Territory means nothing to the Crimson Line," the stranger said coldly. Elara's heart hammered. "Stop talking in riddles. What do you two want from me?" Kale's answer came first, sharp and pained. "I want a chance to make this right." The stranger's came second, softer, and infinitely more dangerous. "I want you alive." Which he cannot guarantee. Kale growled. "She doesn't need your protection." "You rejected her," the stranger said quietly. "She needed protection long before today." Kale flinched. A small motion. But Elara saw it. And her wolf, weak, confused, caught between instincts, whimpered at the crack in his armor. "I didn't know," Kale said, voice rough. "If I had sensed who she—" "You didn't sense anything," the stranger cut in. "Because you never bothered to look beyond the surface." His eyes flicked to Elara, softening with a strange warmth. "Your wolf was sealed the night you were marked," he murmured. "Your memories as well." Her breath stuttered. My memories." He nodded. "The ones that explain why your body recognized me first." Kale stiffened violently. "Recognized you how?" The stranger didn't answer him. He answered Elara. "When your mark ignites, you'll remember everything." The forest air shivered. Kale stepped between them, fury and panic twisting inside him. "She belongs to my pack." "She belongs to no one," the stranger snapped. "Least of all you." Kale lunged. Elara threw herself between them. "Stop!" The forest went silent. Her voice shook, but she forced herself to look at Kale first. "Kale, you can't just decide now that you want me." He swallowed hard, guilt shadowing his features. "Elara, You rejected me," she whispered. "And I felt it. I felt something break inside me." Kale closed his eyes, pained. "I know. But you don't get to fix it by growling at someone else." His eyes opened, stormy, wounded, jealous, desperate. "Elara, my wolf is tearing itself apart without you." A tremor rippled through the ground. The stranger's aura surged in warning. "Step back, Kale. Her spirit is unstable. Your presence is pushing her bond to fracture." Kale rounded on him. "If she's unstable, it's because of you." "Enough!" Elara cried out, clutching her head as heat pulsed under her skin. A glow erupted from her shoulder. Not silver, not gold. Crimson. Bright, searing crimson that painted the trees and sky in burning light. Kale stumbled backward. "Moon, help us." The stranger knelt instantly. Ilara. Look at me. Breathe. But she couldn't. Her wolf clawed inside her chest, desperate to tear out, desperate to answer a call she didn't understand. Her pulse thundered. Her vision blurred. The mark tore open with fire. Kale panicked. What's happening to her? The stranger rose slowly, power coiling around him like armor. What should have happened years ago? Ilara collapsed into his arms as the forest trembled. Her scent changed. Richer, deeper, layered with something ancient. Kale staggered. No, that's not. The stranger lifted her effortlessly. Her wolf is waking. Her wolf. Kale rasped. But the elders said, she was born wolfless. They were wrong. His voice was low, reverent. But you were too blind to see it. Kale stepped forward, shaking. Give her to me. No. Give her to. She isn't safe with you, the stranger hissed. Your rejection fractured her bond. If she stays near you, her wolf will tear itself apart. Kale froze. The stranger carried Ilara toward the shadowed side of the ridge. There is a sanctuary where she can awaken without interference. Kale blocked his path. If you take her, he growled, you'll start a war. The stranger's eyes glinted. Then sharpen your claws, Alpha. Because I do not ask permission. And I do not fear war. Kale's wolf lunged inside him. Put her down. Make me. Lightning cracked between their gazes. Kale shifted fully, massive dark wolf slamming into the ground with a roar that shook the pines. The stranger didn't shift. And didn't need to. His aura exploded outward in a crimson shockwave, knocking Kale back several feet. Ilara whimpered faintly in his hold. That sound. That small, pained sound. Kale felt it like a blade sliding between his ribs. Ilara, he howled, half mad. The stranger vanished into the forest, carrying her in his arms. Kale lunged after him. But the air sealed shut like a wall of steel. A barrier. A ward. Ancient magic. Kale slammed against it again and again until his paws bled. Ilara. His wolf howled, broken. Because for the first time in his life, Kale realized he hadn't rejected an Omega. He had rejected a power older than his pack. A destiny he wasn't worthy of. A mate the moon herself had chosen. And he intended to get her back. Even if he had to tear the forest apart stone by stone. Even if he had to break every law. Even if he had to kill the stranger with the crimson eyes. Ilara woke to silence. Not the kind born from peace. But the heavy, trembling quiet that follows catastrophe. Her head rested on something warm and steady. A heartbeat. A chest. She jerked upright. The stranger. The one with the red gold eyes. Watched her with unreadable calm. They were in a circular cavern, illuminated by veins of glowing crimson stone threading through the walls. The air hummed with old power. Moonlight streamed through a hole in the ceiling, catching on dust like falling stars. Her pulse kicked. Where am I? The sanctuary of the hidden wolf, he said softly. A place your ancestors once used to awaken dormant spirits. Her hands shook. Why did you bring me here? I didn't want. You were dying. Ilara froze. He rose from where he had knelt beside her, his aura brushing the cavern walls like a storm kept barely in check. Your wolf has been sealed for nearly 20 years. Too long. The mark I gave you fights every day to keep your spirit alive. When Kale touched you, when his wolf surged, your bond splintered. And your body couldn't handle the strain. Ilara wrapped her arms around herself. I never asked for any of this. His expression softened. No. You were a child when the moon chose you. None of this was your choice. Her throat tightened. Who are you? For the first time, he hesitated. Finally he whispered. Rigian. The name vibrated in the chamber, ancient and heavy. That's not a Nightcrest name. No. My lineage predates Nightcrest. And Dark River. And the Silver Kingdom. He stepped closer. I am the last alpha of the Crimson Line. Ilara's heart stopped. The Crimson Line. The bloodline from the old legends. The wolves who could bend moonlight. The wolves who vanished a century ago. That's impossible, she breathed. He smiled faintly. You wear the mark of the impossible. Her hand drifted to her shoulder. The skin was warm. Almost pulsing. Alive. Ilara, Rigian said gently. Your spirit is transitioning. You're going to feel things you can't explain. She backed away. I need links. I need my pack. I need. Kale. Rigian's voice tightened, dangerously soft. She swallowed hard. I need answers. Rigian extended his hand. Not forceful. Not commanding. Just open. You will have them, he said. But not yet. First, your wolf must wake. Ilara stared at him. At the glowing crimson stone lining the walls. At the strange symbols etched across the cavern floor. Why didn't my wolf wake before? Why wait 20 years? Rigian's eyes darkened. Because the night you were born, the moon split. And something hunted you. He exhaled slowly. I marked you to protect you. But sealing your wolf was the only way to keep you alive. Her chest tightened. Kale said I was born wolfless. He was wrong. Rigian stepped closer, voice like molten earth. You were born with more power than any wolf this century. The moon feared you would be taken, so she hid you. Ilara shook her head. I don't feel powerful. You will. His eyes burned. And when you do, all three of our fates will collide. Before she could answer, the cavern trembled. Stone dust fell from the ceiling. A distant, furious howl cut through the mountains. Kale. Rigian's expression hardened. He found us faster than I expected. Ilara scrambled to her feet. You have to let him through, he'll tear the forest apart. He cannot enter the sanctuary. She stared. What? Why not? His soul was not chosen. Rigian walked toward the entrance tunnel, aura thickening into a protective wall. And he is not your mate. Ilara's breath hitched. Why do you keep saying that? The mark doesn't prove. Ilara, Rigian said quietly, if Kale had been your fated mate, your wolf would have awakened the moment he touched you. Instead, she nearly died. Ilara felt her knees weaken. He stepped closer. Your wolf responded to only one wolf today. Her voice cracked. You. The cavern pulsed in acknowledgement. As if the sanctuary itself agreed. But before he could answer, the mountain shook with force. A roar, ragged, furious, shattered the air. Kale. Ilara felt it like a pull in her chest, a vibration in her bones. He's hurting, she whispered. Rigian's jaw flexed. Good. Rigian, please. Let me talk to him. No. Just let him see I'm alive. No. Rigian. He turned, and for a moment, she saw something flicker behind his eyes. Pain. Fear. Memory. He rejected you, he said quietly. If you stand near him while your wolf is awakening, your spirit could collapse. Collapse. The word chilled her. Then what do I do? She whispered. He stepped closer until she could feel the heat of his aura. You trust me, he said. You let your wolf wake. You let the moon show you the truth. And when the time comes, you decide who is worthy of standing beside you. Her heartbeat stumbled. He lifted his hand, palm brushing the glowing mark on her shoulder. The cavern answered. Stones lighting up, symbols blazing, air thickening with ancient power. Ilara gasped as warmth flooded her chest. Her wolf. Weak for years, silent for years, sleeping for years. Stirred. A low, slow rumble echoed through her bones. Ridgeon's voice dropped to a whisper. She's waking. Ilara's breath hitched. Something inside her rose. A presence, a memory, a fire. Light erupted from her skin. The mark blazed brighter. Her vision blurred crimson. Her pulse synced with something ancient. She fell forward. Ridgeon caught her. Ilara, he whispered against her temple, let go. She's ready. Outside, Kel roared her name again. Raw, frantic, breaking. Inside, her wolf. The wolf she never knew she had. Began to open her eyes. The cavern trembled. Symbols ignited. Moonlight bent toward her body. Ilara screamed. Light bursting from her lungs. Her wolf answered with a howl that shook the sanctuary. And far beyond the barrier. Kale staggered back, collapsing to both knees. Because for the first time since rejecting her, he finally felt the truth. He had rejected the strongest wolf the moon ever blessed. And her power no longer needed him. The scream tore through Ilara's throat. But it wasn't pain. It was release. It was unraveling. It was awakening. Light flooded the sanctuary, turning the crimson stones white-hot. The air vibrated as if remembering ancient rituals long forgotten. Symbols carved into the cavern floor pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. Ridgeon held her steady, arms firm around her waist as her body arched in the grip of power too old and too wild to be contained. Ilara, breathe, he murmured, though his own voice shook. She couldn't breathe. Or maybe she was breathing too much. Inhaling fire, exhaling light. Then she felt it. A presence. A consciousness. A wolf. Massive, silver-eyed, ancient and young at the same time. Unfurling inside her. You left me sleeping so long. The voice whispered, feminine and fierce. But I am here now. Ilara gasped, and the cavern shook. Ridgeon's fingers dug into her shoulders. That's it. Let her in. She's huge, Ilara choked out. He actually gave a breathless laugh. Yes. She would be. The presence inside her stretched, shook itself, and howled into the deepest part of her soul. Black spots danced in Ilara's vision. Her bones burned. Her skin rippled. Her wolf wasn't creeping awake. She was breaking out. Ilara. Ridgeon's voice sharpened. Focus on me, look at me. She forced her gaze up. His crimson eyes glowed with power and something else. Something warm, steady, claiming. You're safe, he told her. I'm right here. A roar answered from outside the sanctuary. Kel. The earth trembled as he hurled himself again and again at the barrier. His voice was wild. Ilara. Ilara, please, let me in. Her wolf growled inside her chest. Not in longing. But in warning. Ridgeon's eyes flicked toward the cave entrance. Your former alpha grows desperate. I can feel him, Ilara whispered. His panic. That is guilt, Ridgeon said calmly. Not instinct. Her pulse stuttered. My wolf, she doesn't want him near. She wouldn't, Ridgeon murmured. He broke what was fragile. And he ignored what was sacred. Another surge of power ripped through her. Her knees buckled. Ridgeon caught her again. Ilara. His breath ghosted her cheek. Say yes. She blinked through the haze. Yes to what? To waking. To becoming what you were meant to be. I'm scared. His hands framed her face. You were marked because you survived what should have killed you, he whispered. Do you think the moon goddess chooses the weak? She shook her head. Do you think I would kneel for anyone lesser than destiny? Her breath caught. He leaned closer, voice barely more than a murmur. Wake, Ilara. The cavern erupted. Her wolf surged fully awake. A tidal wave of heat and instinct and ancient bloodline memory. And suddenly, Ilara wasn't in her body at all. She was everywhere. Running across moonlit plains. Leaping over rivers. Tearing through shadow. Howling against the sky. Her wolf was enormous, larger than any she'd seen, silver-furred with streaks of glowing crimson along her legs and spine. Beautiful, Rydian's spirit whispered across the bond. Her wolf snarled, not at him, but at the world that had dared to call her wolfless. She lunged through memory after memory. Hers, Rydian's, and something older. A night of fire. A circle of wolves bowing to a newborn. A red-gold wolf marking her shoulder as shadows hunted her infant cries. The memories shattered. And Ilara slammed back into her body. She collapsed forward. But Rydian caught her, lowering her gently to the cavern floor. Her vision steadied. Her breathing slowed. Her mark glowed like a freshly forged blade. She gasped. I felt her. She's real. She has always been real, Rydian said softly. Her voice trembled. Rydian, what am I? He brushed a strand of hair from her cheek with surprising tenderness. You are the heir of the Crimson Line. The stolen child of a dying dynasty. The wolf the moon hid for 20 years. Her heart stuttered. The Crimson Heir, she whispered. He nodded once. Outside, the mountain shook again. Kale's wolf ramming the barrier with reckless force. Rydian's eyes hardened. Your former mate bond must be severed before your spirit stabilizes. He wasn't really my mate, Ilara whispered. No, Rydian agreed. But your soul believed him for a moment. That is enough to fragment you. Her chest ached. I didn't want to feel anything for him. Rydian's voice softened. You wanted to be wanted. Ilara's throat closed. Kale had never desired her. Only the idea of a perfect Luna. But Rydian. His gaze didn't flinch from her flaws, her fear, her power. And her wolf responded to him like a flame to breath. Ilara looked toward the cave entrance. He won't leave. Kale will destroy himself. Rydian's jaw clenched. Then he is a fool. Another roar shook the stones. Ilara. Kale's voice cracked. Ilara, don't do this, don't let him take you. Tears pricked her eyes. I should go to him, she whispered. I should tell him I'm alive. Rydian cupped her chin, turning her face back to him. You owe him nothing. But his suffering. So are you, Rydian murmured. A painful silence fell between them. Ilara. His thumb brushed the edge of her glowing mark. When you step out of this sanctuary, the world will finally see you as you truly are. Her breath trembled. The Crimson Heir. Yes. She swallowed. And you're my. Rydian leaned closer, forehead brushing hers. Your true mate. Your first bond. Your only equal. Her wolf surged with fierce certainty. Her voice came out a whisper. Why was I marked by you? His next words were quiet enough to break her. Because you were dying. Because I chose you. Because the moon demanded you be mine. Thunder cracked outside. Kale howled her name, broken, desperate, unraveling. Ilara whispered, "What happens now?" Rigian rose, power unfurling around him like a crimson storm. "Now," he said, holding out his hand. "We end your false bond. You awaken fully. And then..." His eyes burned gold red. "You choose who lives with your power. And who dies because of it." The moment Ilara took Rigian's hand, the cavern responded. Crimson veins in the walls brightened, symbols heated like molten runes, and moonlight poured through the ceiling opening with impossible intensity, as if the heavens bent closer just to witness her next breath. Rigian pulled her gently to her feet. "Ilara," he murmured, "your wolf is awake, but not stable. The false bond with Kale must be severed before it poisons you again." Her heart trembled at the name. Kale. She could still feel the echo of him. The shock when he rejected her. The regret when he realized what she was. The primal fear when she disappeared from his reach. A soft ache flared beneath her ribs. "I never meant to form anything with him," she whispered. "You didn't," Rigian assured. "But the moon did. For a moment, before your mark awakened." His eyes glinted. A moment is enough for a weak wolf to latch onto power beyond his right. Ilara looked down at her glowing shoulder. "You said severing the bond could hurt him." Rigian's expression didn't change. "That is not your concern." "It is," she insisted, surprising them both. "He rejected me. But he didn't know who I was." "He didn't care," Rigian corrected softly. "Not until you glowed." Her chest tightened. Outside, Kale's wolf slammed into the barrier again, a deep, shuddering crack echoing through the cavern. Rigian's jaw flexed. "He'll break himself before he breaks my ward." "Good." "No," Ilara whispered. "Stop. He's hurting. He should." "You don't know him." "I know wolves like him." Rigian stepped closer, voice low. "What he regrets is losing possession, not losing you. That's not fair." "It's true." The cavern trembled under another impact. "Ilara." Kale's voice, hoarse, raw, echoed down the tunnels. "Ilara, I'm begging you, say something." Her stomach twisted. Rigian watched her closely. "Look at me." She did. "Does your wolf move toward him?" he asked. She closed her eyes and searched inward. Into the new space where her wolf paced, powerful and silver crimson, breath hot and steady. Her wolf lifted her head. And growled. Not longing. Not yearning. Rejection. "No," Ilara whispered. "She doesn't want him." Rigian's hand brushed her cheek with a gentleness that contrasted the storm inside him. "That is because she remembers what he was blind to. She remembers your true bond." "My bond with you," she whispered. "Our bond," he corrected softly. Then he lifted his hand, palm facing upward, and a glowing crimson thread appeared in the air between them, shimmering like living fire. Ilara gasped. "This," Rigian said, "is the bond between you and Kale. Thin. Weak. Fractured." The thread flickered erratically, pulsing with a faint storm grey tint, Kale's aura. "To sever it," Rigian continued, "you must cut it from your side. Not mine. Not his. Yours." Her mouth went dry. Kale's howl rattled the stone again. "Ilara." His voice cracked in desperation. "Ilara, please, don't leave me." She stepped toward the glowing thread. Her wolf rose, eyes white fire, body swelling inside her spirit. Rigian guided her hand. "Say it." Her voice trembled. "Say what?" "The words your wolf never got to speak." She inhaled. The cavern held its breath. Her wolf pressed forward. And Ilara, with her hand hovering over the flickering bond, whispered. "Alpha Kale Varin. I sever what was never meant to be." The crimson thread snapped. A shockwave of power exploded through the sanctuary. Ilara staggered backward. Ridian caught her before she fell. But outside, a scream shattered the mountains. Kale. His agony slammed through the barrier like a dying storm. Ilara clutched Ridian's arm, eyes wide. What's happening to him? Ridian's expression remained calm, though his aura bristled. His wolf felt the severing. He will survive. But he sounds like his. He is mourning, Ridian finished. Mourning a destiny he never deserved. Ilara collapsed to her knees, breath shaking. I didn't want to hurt him. Ridian knelt beside her, turning her face toward him. You didn't, he said gently. Your truth did. She blinked hard as tears threatened. Why does everything hurt? Because your spirit is reforming. Because your wolf is rising. And because breaking a false bond makes room for the true one. He brushed away a tear with his thumb. Ilara, look. She followed his gaze. And her breath stopped. A second light appeared in the air. Not crimson. Not silver. A glowing thread. Steady, strong, radiant. Stretching from her chest outward, and hooking into Ridian's. Her lips parted. That's our bond, Ridian whispered. The one you were born with. The one sealed for 20 years. The one that will make kingdoms kneel. It pulsed gently. As if greeting her. Her wolf surged forward and touched the thread. Heat rolled through her. Recognition. Belonging. Desire. Destiny. Her knees weakened. Ridian caught her by the waist as her wolf howled inside her. Ilara, he breathed, his forehead brushing hers, do you feel it? She nodded. It's overwhelming. It will settle. His hands tightened around her. When our bond completes. Her pulse hammered. How do we? A thunderous crash cut her off. The barrier shattered. The cavern entrance exploded in dust and broken stone. Kale, bleeding, half-shifted, barely standing, stumbled into the sanctuary on shaking legs. His wolf glowed with raw, ragged agony. He looked at Ilara and collapsed to his knees. Ilara. His voice cracked into a sob. What have you done? Her heart twisted. But her wolf rose with a growl. Ridian stepped in front of her, aura shifting from gentle warmth to pure, killing cold. Stay back, Nightcrest Alpha. Kale glared through blood and tears. You stole her. You threw her away, Ridian snarled. Kale's voice broke. Ilara, please. Please don't bond with him. I can feel it, I can feel her leaving. Ilara stepped forward, but Ridian held her wrist. She swallowed hard. Kale. I didn't choose this. Kale's breath hitched. Then choose me now. Ridian's growl shook the cavern. Ilara lifted a trembling hand to her heart. My wolf has awakened, she whispered. And she doesn't want you. Kale staggered as if stabbed. Ridian's voice was a low, brutal promise. Leave before you die here. Kale's eyes met Ilara's. Shattered, desperate, broken. And for the first time since she'd known him, she saw him cry. Ilara. I'm sorry, he whispered. For everything. Her heart ached. But not toward him. Ridian stepped beside her, quiet but protective. And Ilara finally said the words she'd needed all her life. I'm not yours. Kale bowed his head. And the man who once rejected her now knelt in defeat. Kale stayed on his knees, chest heaving, blood dripping from his hands where he had torn them raw, clawing through Ridian's barrier. His wolf trembled beneath his skin, broken, disoriented, suffering from the severed false bond. Ilara had never seen an alpha look small. But right now, Kale looked human. and heartbreakingly lost. Ilara, his voice cracked. Please. Don't turn away. Rijian stepped in front of her, not blocking her, but shielding her from a plea that could still cut deep. You are not welcome here, Rijian said, voice like crimson fire. This sanctuary recognizes blood older than your line. Kale's eyes flicked up, blazing. I don't care about your old magic. That, Rijian said calmly, is why you will never stand at her side. The air tightened. Ilara stepped forward, placing a trembling hand on Rijian's arm, not to stop him, but to steady herself. Rijian, she whispered, let me speak. He hesitated. Then stepped aside, though his aura stayed coiled around her like protective storm wings. Ilara knelt before Kale. Not out of submission. Not out of longing. But because this chapter needed to end face to face. Kale swallowed hard, searching her eyes for some sign of hope. Ilara. I'm sorry. The second you disappeared, I felt. His voice broke. I felt like my soul was being ripped apart. She inhaled softly. Kale, that wasn't love. That was guilt. Regret. Pride. And fear of losing what you only valued after it was gone. He flinched. You wanted me when Rijian wanted me, she said gently. Not before. That's not true. It is, she whispered. If I had awakened my wolf beside you that night, if my mark had been silver, maybe we would have tried. But the moment something didn't fit your perfect lunar image, you threw me aside. Kale shut his eyes, tears slipping down his cheeks. I know, he whispered. I know. And it's killing me. Ilara let her hand hover near his shoulder, but she didn't touch him. Kale, you are not a bad wolf. Her smile was sad. You just weren't meant for me. His breath hitched. Ilara, who is he to you? She glanced back at Rijian. He didn't move. Didn't push. Didn't speak. He simply watched her with a steady, aching kind of devotion. Her heart made its choice silently. Her wolf made it fiercely. Rijian is my true mate, she said softly. The bond one was born for. Kale's wolf let out a broken, wounded cry. Ilara's hand finally dropped. I hope you find someone who sees your heart before your strength, she whispered. Then she stood. Kale didn't rise. He looked at the cavern floor, shoulders shaking, wolf howling somewhere deep inside him. Goodbye, Kale, she said. He didn't answer. Rijian moved to her side immediately, slipping an arm behind her back to steady her weakened legs. Ilara, he murmured, it is time. She nodded. But Kale, trembling, forced himself to look up one last time. Ilara, he whispered. Tell me something before I go. What? His voice was barely audible. Was I ever your destiny? Ilara's heart ached. But her wolf. Her newly awakened, fiercely luminous wolf. Rose behind her eyes with a single truth. No, she whispered. But you were my beginning. Kale bowed his head. Defeated. Relieved. Destroyed. Freed. He shifted into wolf form, a massive dark creature with trembling legs. And limped out of the sanctuary. The cavern dimmed slightly as the storm of his presence faded. Ilara exhaled shakily. And then. Rijian turned her gently toward him. The crimson glow in his eyes softened, the fierce warrior giving way to the wolf who had searched 20 years for her. You chose, he said quietly. Yes. Her voice quivered. I chose. And your wolf? Ilara closed her eyes. Inside, the silver-crimson wolf lifted her head proudly. Him, her wolf growled with certainty. Always him. Ilara opened her eyes. She chose you long before I knew how. Rijian's breath caught. For the first time, truly shaken. Ilara. I have waited a lifetime to hear that. The cavern lights pulsed, responding to their bond as it awakened fully. Unexpectedly, Ilara swayed. Ridian caught her by the waist. Easy. Your spirit is still torn from the awakening. The true bond will stabilize you. You must let it complete. She blushed. And how does a true bond complete? Ridian brushed his thumb along her cheek, eyes warm with promise and restraint. Not with violence, he murmured. Not with force. Not with desperation. His forehead touched hers. But with choice. Her breath trembled. Then I choose, she whispered. Ridian's hands slid to the sides of her face. Ilara Thorn, he said, voice low and reverent, will you bind your soul to mine, as the moon decreed the night you were born? Her heart pounded. I will. Light exploded around them. Her mark surged with crimson fire. Ridian's chest ignited with matching glow. The cavern wind spiraled upward in a cyclone of power. Wolf energy, moon energy, ancient energy. Binding them together like a vow whispered before creation. Their bond snapped into place. Not like a thread, but like lightning. The force of it knocked dust from the cavern ceiling. Symbols carved in stone flared blinding bright. Her wolf howled in triumph. His answered in a deep, resonant growl. Ridian pulled her closer, breath uneven. Ilara. And when their lips met, the sanctuary roared. A wave of crimson light burst outward from them, racing across the mountains, through the forest, past the barrier that once held Kale back. Every wolf in the region lifted their head at the same moment. Feeling the rise of something powerful, ancient, and uncontrollable. The crimson air had awakened. Ilara gasped as the bond settled deep within her soul, steady, warm, unbreakable. Ridian touched her cheek. You are complete now, he whispered. So are you, she breathed. He smiled, slow, dangerous, breathtaking. Let the world tremble. Under the rising moon, with crimson light burning across the mountains, Ilara Thorn took her true mate's hand. And together, they stepped into a destiny powerful enough to rewrite the fate of every wolf alive.